it's Rob, and welcome to Axel's Garage. Today we are working on my wife's TJ, which is something that we've been trying to get to all through the end of the winter, the spring. We've been trying to get to do some work on it, and she's been complaining. What we've been doing as the weather started to change and get nice, we've been taking the hard top on and off, and then we got it laid in the driveway, and then it rains, and we park it under the tent, or we throw the hard top back on it. Just been a pain in the ass. So I finally broke down, went online to order the soft top, and what we were looking to get for this TJ is a 98 TJ. What we were looking to get was one of those frameless ones that uses the roll cage as the supports for the soft top. We wanted something relatively inexpensive. We really don't go anywhere with the Jeep. It's not a commuter vehicle for the most part. It's just a knock-around, summertime fun vehicle for us. So we were looking to do it on a bit of a budget. So what we came across was the Rampage Trail Top, and that's a frameless soft top. The prices are pretty reasonable from Quadratech or online somewhere on eBay, wherever you might buy it. The prices run right around $300 for the kit itself, and then there's some extras that you need to buy. What we did find when I went on Amazon the other day was that they had the kit on sale from Rampage through Amazon Prime, and it was $279. A little bit more money, about $40 or $50 more money if you wanted the sailcloth material, the better material. We opted for the standard material because we don't know whether we're going to like a frameless top or not, and we were just trying one out. And because we have a few Jeeps in our fleet, we figured we go with the most inexpensive to start with, see how we like it, and then maybe in the years to come, upgrade a little bit. So they had it on sale, $279, and if you bought it within a certain time frame, which we were lucky enough to get in on that, $50 mail-in rebate. So for $229 shipped to my door, we were able to get that Rampage Trail Top, and we got it in Spice, which is the tan or khaki color. And it came in, and it comes in not a huge box, right? This is the box, right, with some padding, but the whole top came in this box. And what we know from looking at some of the feedback online, even on Amazon, some of the reviews, was to put it out in the sun for a couple hours before you're going to install it. So that's what we did. We got it up on the deck in the sun. It's been sitting in the sun about 2 or 3 hours. It's pretty hot out today, mid-80s or so. In the sun it feels really hot, so it's been there 2 or 3 hours or so. With that top, what you also need to have is a windshield header panel, they call it, and that clamps in with the factory style clamps onto the top of your windshield so that the top has something to hook to. And you need a factory style tailgate bar. We did have a couple tailgate bars and a couple of those clips that hold the tailgate bars in laying around in a pile of TJ parts, but what we opted to do was buy one from Rampage. They have a kit, it's $30. It's a little cover for the trunk area and a tailgate bar and the 2 clips that you have to screw into the body of the Jeep. So we decided, you know what, let's get the header bar from Rampage, let's get the tailgate bar from Rampage. They weren't that much money. I think the header bar was about $50, and the tailgate bar was about $30 with that cover, 10-out cover, however you say it, 10-out, whatever, that cover. And so now we're looking at, 30 and 50 is 80 plus the 225, let's call it to make it easier, 230, make it even easier. So 230 and 80, let me do my math, $310, done. Soft top for a Jeep, right? If it works and we like it, that's an awesome price. We had, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm lying to you. Where were we, at 310? Right, 80 and 230, $310. There was one more thing we had to get when we bought this Jeep. Remember, it just had a hard top, had nothing else other than a hard top. So the one thing that you do have to get are your door surrounds. These guys here that go in like this, door surrounds. We were able to pick these up on Craigslist, not Craigslist, because Craigslist is just nothing but purple dolos. Craigslist, locally, with a bunch of other Jeep stuff that we bought about a year ago, they cost us $75. If you look online, you can find them anywhere from around $60 to around $300. I don't know, I can't believe that somebody would sell them for $300 because I think new they're $350. Craigslist, the average price around $100. You should be able to get them for $75, but the average is $100. If it's a real nice, clean set, which they're plastic, so you can wash them, but a real nice, clean, new set, maybe $1.25, buying it from somebody who's selling it. If you really wanted to, you could buy a new set from Quadratech or direct from Jeep, but they're expensive. So $75. So we were at 10 and 75, 385, done, soft top, Jeep. Let's put it on and see what it's. All right, so opening our boxes, I got my Rural King box cutter. All right, this one should be the windshield header. It's a little bit bigger of the two boxes. Maybe not. It's a box in a box. This is the tailgate bar. This was a box in a box. Now we'll go with this one, which is a Rampage box, so it's not a box in a box. Alright, and here is our tailgate bar. No directions, so it should be idiot proof. Alright, it's just a metal bar with some clips on it and a lot of plastic. And we'll have Steve-O get all the plastic off of this. Get all the plastic off of that, Steve-O. Alright, and in the Rampage box for the tailgate the trunk cover. I don't know how you're supposed to say that word. Whoop. Look at that. This comes with directions. So we're going to have to take a look at them. I've never done a soft top start to finish, so we're going to be reading directions. I don't want to cut this with the razor knife because I don't want to break anything. The reviews online said the directions are horrible for the tailgate bar, but we got another Jeep laying around. We should be able to figure it out, I'm sure. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is put the door surrounds in. I will move the camera. Alright, so we got these door surrounds. They got these hand bolt thingies, whatever you might call them. You hold them. Alright. There's a pin on the bottom end. That pin goes in the hole in the body. And then these should slide right onto the roll bar. You might have to turn the roll bar padding so that the opening is in the right spot. If your roll bar padding doesn't have opening, you got to take your roll bar padding off. If you want and you buy the aftermarket roll bar padding or even the Jeep roll bar padding, most of them have the opening to the door surrounds. You can't have the door surrounds on the vehicle when you have a hard top on the vehicle. That's why they come on and off like that. So we're going to put these on. And while I put these on, we'll send Steve-O to the other side. I think you could handle putting that one on the other side.
I'm not Robbie.
Huh?
I'm not Robbie.
Right, he's not Robbie. See, he said it, not me. Go ahead, Steve-O, put them on the other side. Alright, you just got to find the corresponding hole up top. Alright, you got to push them forward all the way. That's where the holes line up. Start them both in before you tighten it, and then just make them hand tight. You don't really need to crank down hard on them. Like mayo jar height, I would say. What? Yeah, they go through the holes. You got to turn that roll bar padding over there, Steve-O? No, on the other side. Put under the roll bar pad. And then slide it. Once you get it on the roll bar, slide it forward all the way, and that's the holes in line. Alright, so they're in. They can stay on with the hard doors. If you have full hard doors, half doors, whatever it is. That's just the way they're designed to go. And now we'll get that windshield header thing. Alright, so now we got the windshield header bar. They have 1/2 inch or 13mm bolts on the clips that hold it in, so we'll just, I don't know if you have to take them off or loosen it. what I'll do is I'll loosen them down pretty good, and then we'll lay it up in place. I don't know if they need to come all the way off. It does have a weather strip on the bottom edge that seals to the windshield. So open the door, Steve, stand on the running board. Alright, so center in this header bar, you just gotta go back and forth and get it in spot. Doesn't look all that critical or all that complicated. It's probably critical that it's centered right. Looks like it's almost flush with the top of the door surround and just in a little bit on the pillar here. Just a hair, maybe an eighth to a quarter. And then, like you saw, we tightened each side up a little at a time. Yeah, same thing on this side. It's pretty even with the door surround and just in from the pillar a little bit. Both sides are tight. You like that? You saw that, right? Didn't you see that? I checked Steve-O's work and it was good. Alright, so that's it. So now what are we going to do? Steve-O, run up on the deck and get the directions that are up there somewhere by the soft top. They're on the barbecue, I think. Alright, so now I'm going to read the directions. Down here for the tailgate bar, you have to put these clips on. Now, I already had holes here because I guess the previous owner or some previous owner at one time had a soft top on it. So I just used the factory holes, which were for sheet metal screws. In the kit, they give you through bolts, and it's open in the back, so you can drill it out and put the through bolts in. I had some stainless sheet metal screws. I used them, put them through. If this holds it tight, which it seems like it will, it's fine. If not, then I'll drill out the body and put the supplied bolts that came with it. They're black through bolts with nylock fasteners on them. All right, with the tailgate bar brackets installed, you move on to this foam. There's two pieces of this rubbery foam that fell on the floor and stuff on it. But what this foam is going to do is it's going to fit in this groove. There's a groove right here in the plastic door surround. So you're going to take the foam and you're going to roll it, put one end in, roll the other end, and you're going to go right from the front, start in the front, and just roll it in like that. And this helps the top, when it comes over, give it some shape. See what I did? Put it in like that, yeah, and then roll it so that
in the same groove?
In the same groove, yeah. All right, now that we got those two foam pads in, the directions say get the top and flap it over the roll bar and clip the front of the top into the header support. They said try to center it on that header support and then just flap it back over the rest of the roll cage. So we're going to grab the top and do that. All right, go on the other side there. You see the plastic? Yeah. Should tuck in that groove. Should go all the way to the floor. Side. Alright, hold it in. Get it all the way down. What I'll do is I'll flap it this way to give us a little bit of tension. Oh yeah, I got like quarter of an inch. Yeah, can you tuck it in? Around the corner. Good? Alright, hang on. What I'll do is I'll...
Stay in place for that one.
Alright, I'll check it. Alright, so you saw we kind of tucked it in, but you had to pull some tension in the back in order for it to stay in. So what I'm going to do now is, it says to try to tuck the sides in. It is very tight, just like all the comments that I read online said were really tight. Alright, so I got that one in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the same side and help Steve-O. It's a little tight. Whew, that's tight. Alright, so to get it in, this clip here on the other side, we had to take the foam piece out, and it's still real tight. Hopefully, when it loosens up, we'll be able to undo it and slip that foam piece in. That was really tight. This should go on that side. You gotta bring this over. Good. Now this strap here, they said you have to go over the roll. Oh, over the roll bar. So this is gotta go.
I got it.
You gotta fish this down in between the roll bar and the sound bar. See if you can stick your fingers in there. Alright, there's a center strap that's got to go over the roll bar, and we have a sound bar in here, so we got to squeeze it in between. And then that goes to the front center of the windshield up top where that little metal loop is. I think it's called a footman's loop. And that tightens the top even more. Wow, tight. Whew. Alright, so the front strap goes around the roll bar and over to the front. And let's see what the rest of the direction set is. Alright, that looks right. Alright, the way this whole strap has to go around the roll bar is very confusing. We messed that up. What we're going to do is we're going to go for a ride. We're going to park it in full sun for about an hour or so, maybe two, just to give it a little bit more stretch, and then we're going to install the other stuff. So let's get the back windows and the other stuff with that foam pad put in the back seat, and we will go for a ride, park it somewhere in full sun. Huh? Yeah, I think so too. You're right, it's got to go around the outside. All right, we're going to move. You see? Rampage directions, horrible. Top, so far I like it. Directions, horrible. We're going to move now. All right, well, after about two and a half hours in the pretty bright sun, it doesn't seem like it's really stretched at all. It's still very tight. I know some of the feedback that we've seen online with regard to these tops is if you really force it, trying to get those windows in and everything, it pulled the zipper is the weak point because that's stitched in, and it pulls the zippers apart and you break the zippers. So we don't want to do that. So what I wanted to do is maybe I'll just leave it as a bikini top for a couple days and let it work itself in. So I'm going to go through the rest of the directions and put everything else together, but leave the windows out. We're going to have nice weather for the next couple days. It's going to be hot the next 2 days, which is good because it'll be out in the sun and it'll get real hot and stretch as much as possible. But I don't want to break anything. So what I'm going to do is go through the rest of the directions. One of the things that we found very confusing in the directions, and when we looked online, other people found it confusing as well, was was hooking up these back straps. Now, not this one. I didn't even read the directions for this real back one yet. I just hooked it to the back just to hold it in place. And we went for a ride real quick, which was only about, you know, not even a mile away, a half mile away. But it's this corner strap that goes on the inside, and what that does is that holds the back, the second level in the back. You see there's two levels in the back here. This second level gets held up by this, and it's a very confusing thing in the directions. So what you need to do is you come off. It almost looks like in the directions that it wraps around the roll bar. It never actually goes around the roll bar itself. It just comes off, goes down the side like this, right before the bend, and then goes underneath the seatbelt anchor, comes right back around, and on the same side, comes right around to here, and goes down, and then you tighten it, and that's the way that gets held in. It took us doing it 3-4 times to figure it out, because it's almost like you want to come down, and you want to come out here, then you want to come back over. And you're not coming back over, you're going right, you know, behind, it's, you know, the seatbelt anchor is right here. You can see it right here. And you're going right behind that seatbelt anchor, so it's hooking the bolt, and then it's coming right back around the same side, and then you're putting it through the buckle and pulling it down, and that keeps that nice and tight. This top section here, when you pull both sides off, top section velcros away from like that. And that's where the windows go, up in the top. So I'm going to flap it forward like that, and then I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute. I'm going to check the directions and see exactly how you stow those windows up in the top, and then we're going to do that and button up the rest of the top as if it was just a bikini top for now. Alright, so moving along with the top, you know, I got the back part of the top flapped over the front, and when you do that, you can put this bag, and this bag comes, it zips all the way around. It's got 3 big Velcro pieces on the front bottom end. The rest of the sides of the bag open up. There's a top and a bottom, and there's 2 nylon pieces in the middle. So you got your bottom, and you got a nylon, then a middle section, then another nylon, and then the top section. And this is the compartment where you store your windows, so that your windows are separated by these pieces of nylon in the middle. That'll stop the windows from chafing on top of each other as the vehicle drives and the wind hits the top and scratching up your glass. This is supposed to keep the glass nice with the plastic glass. You know, the plastic in the windows from not getting scratched up. So what you do is 3 big Velcros are on the top and the front, and you just lay this out on the Velcros, comes back towards the back, and that's where your window stowage is. Grab one of the side windows. Alright, so you saw that I had to get a little creative folding those pieces. There are cuts in the plastic that clips in around the edges, you know, under the body and in the door surrounds. There are slits in them so that you can fold it, because normally those would prevent you from folding the pieces. So it does have 2 cuts in it so that you can fold it. Get a little creative folding it, and then hopefully you won't see a big bump in the top once I pull it back over. Alright, well, moving right along, on the inside there's these 2 flexible rods with rubber padding over them. There's 2 pockets on the inside. These go in those pockets and they sort of bend up just a little bit, and what these do is keep any water from pooling on the top during heavy rains or something like that. They said you can operate the top normally without them, but they recommend that you install them, so we're going to slide. They just slide right into pockets that are on the inside, and when we're all done I'll move the camera and show you what I mean. So now the last step to getting this far along on the top is just putting these back pieces on, and pretty much they're going to hook on the back of the body. And I'll move the camera down a little so you can see it. Alright, so they're hooking right here on the back of the body, between where the roll cage is and this sill right here is where you want it to hook. So it's not on the curve, but it's also not on this part of the flat. It's as far this way as you can get before the curve starts. And then they say with one hand, just put it down, and the other hand they want you to pull on here, pull it down, and then Velcro it down, and it's good. And that's how tight it should be. And the same thing on the other side. Alright, so once you got them both cinched down, you can sort of work out any wrinkles that you have undoing this Velcro here. Because now it's in the right spot. Pull it back a little bit. And reattach that Velcro. There you go. It's really not too lumpy inside. It's a little lumpy on top because of the windows being stored in there. But all in all, it's not too bad at all. Now the only thing that we haven't been able to get in is the foam piece for the passenger side, because we put the driver's side in first, and on the passenger side it was way too tight. So instead of forcing it, I'm going to take the foam piece, I'm going to put it away and leave it on for a couple days, and then I'll slide it in. And I think I won't put the windows in until it's been on for a couple days. I'll be driving it, it'll flap around in the wind, which will stretch it, and the sun is also going to stretch it as well. And then I wouldn't see why there would be any problem getting those windows in, but we'll see. I will finish this video when I get all the windows in. I'll give you a shot of what it looks like. Right now I'll give you a once around of what it looks like with the windows out, just as a bikini top. See what I mean by the lumpiness? It's right here where you had to do some folding of the window panels to put them up into the roof. And it's a little lumpy, but it's really not crazy noticeable unless you're looking for it. Yeah, very nice coverage here. You know, and especially right along the door here. It really flaps down nice. This is the area where we couldn't get that foam piece in. Over here, it sort of looks like that windshield header sort of isn't real tight down. We'll have to see if we get any leaks there. And we tighten that header down pretty good. That might just be pulling it back a little bit because it's so tight. On the inside, you got two net pockets up here, which are pretty nice. You got those support bows that go across, and then you got the strap, which is right here, that hangs down just a little bit. But for the most part, we're done on this install of the Rampage trail top for the Jeep. Like I said, it was under $400 for everything complete. We'll finish the video in a couple days when I'm able to get those side windows in, and we'll give you a shot of what it looks like with all the windows in. I'm going to drive it around, let it stretch, and then we'll finish up that video. But so far, I like it. We'll see if it keeps the water out. My concern initially right now is going to be that header channel, whether or not that's sealing good or not. If I have to put some extra weather stripping on the inside, maybe unbolt it, put another piece of weather stripping in, or rubber, and then bolt it back down. We'll have to see. We're going to have to use it for a couple days and see. I'll finish up the video when we get the windows in, and then we'll do a review after having it for a month or so, and we'll give you a review and our input on and what we think of it. All right, so we're about 24 hours later. It's been sunny. It was sunny the rest of the day yesterday when we first put the top on. It's been sunny all day today. I've had it parked in the sun. Went for a ride, put, maybe 5 or 6 miles on it. So I got some wind flap action, which probably stretched it a little bit, hopefully, who knows. But this is the concern right here, is we couldn't get that foam in because it was so tight to get this around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the back straps so I can pop this back off and see if we can put that foam piece in and then get this back on. Hopefully it's stretched enough that we can do that. Like I said, it's only 24 hours later. We'll see what happens. All right, so I loosened up the back, and what I'm going to do is try to pop this out. I can't even get this out of the thing. Alright, so I got everything as loose as possible, and it's still not enough slack to even get this off so I could put that in. I think I'm going to have to loosen all 4 corners and start to work the top forward, I think, and almost take it all the way off to get it in. Let me do that. Got it. Now I'll get this in good. Alright, so this just tucks down into that groove. Okay. Whew. Alright, and it gives it that nice shape. Wow. That is tight. I had to loosen everything to get it. I didn't take the other side out. It was just as tight as getting this side. But you saw how I kind of like grabbed it with my hands to make a little bit of slack in it. This will probably loosen up. Wow. Alright. I am not going to try to put the windows in yet. It is definitely way too tight. We'll continue. What's going on? We'll continue maybe tomorrow or the next day when we try to get those windows in. But I'm going to leave it for a few days like this. With the pad in, it'll give it a little more stretch. We're going to leave it for a couple days. I don't want to break something. All right, while I have it all loosened up, I just wanted to show you once again this, the way the inner or the bottom part of the top goes on here, because the directions are confusing and everything else. And I've seen online, people get confused because you almost want to wrap it around. And when it's done, it looks like it's wrapped around, but it's not actually wrapped around. What you're going to do is you're going to go over, okay? And you want to keep it like a high up over, just before the bend. You know, here's the bend really, I mean, starts up here, but it really curves in here. So just like right up here like that. And then you come and you go over your, no, you come like this. I'd say it's even confusing, and I've done it twice already. So you come over, and then you bring it underneath the seatbelt stud, and then straight up again like that. And then you put it into the buckle. And this is actually not going around the tube. You know, you don't wrap it around the tube, you're wrapping it over the tube and then under the buckle. And then you sort of hold this up and you pull down with one so that you get this buckle off of here, and you want it on the side like that, and you leave it like that. And that's exactly the way you want it. One of the other things I wanted to show you is the Rampage Tailgate Bar. Now on Amazon, there's a lot of reviews about the Tailgate Bar and that the leather stripping doesn't go on the bar, it faces the inside. Well, here's the Tailgate Bar installed. And if you had that turnout cover, or turnout cover, however the hell you say the cover, that goes on it, which I really didn't care for, it clips into a groove on the backside. And I'll show you what that looks like. That's that groove there. Now the piece of weather stripping, everybody tries to attach it here because that seems like the only spot that it will feed over. And when you put this in place, right, where's the weather stripping? It's on the back side, and they're all like, well, there's no weather stripping here. You can't put it here because this is a thick piece of metal. Let me just move the camera down a little for you. Right, this is a thick piece of metal because this is where that turnout cover goes in. So this really only goes in one way. And it's going to go in like that, and your back window is going to slide right into this groove and then go up. So where's that weather stripping go? If it doesn't go on here and it only fits back here, everybody on Amazon, it's funny, all the comments, the weather stripping's on the back side, we can't figure it doesn't seal, and doesn't seal against the tailgate like the factory. Well, it's not a factory original. It's an aftermarket, and it's a redesign. They designed it differently. Alright, so where's the weather stripping go? It's simple. Weather stripping goes on the tailgate. Right? It pushes onto the top of the tailgate, and when you close the tailgate, it sits right in here, and it actually makes a better seal than the factory original. Now you can see the tailgate is sealed up nice. The weather stripping pushes right up in between there, holds the tailgate bar real nice and firm. When you open it up, that's what it looks like. My trunk requires a slant because of that security box that's back there. That's how it seals up. Alright, it's been about a week, 10 days, actually almost 2 weeks since we put that top on. It's been hot during the day, it's been cold at night. We did 3 or 4 highway trips, about 50, 60 miles total on the highway, flapping. You know, it doesn't flap that much, but flapping enough where it'll give it a stretch. The heat, the cool, the heat, the cool. It rained a couple times, got caught in the rain a couple little times, and then one time really bad. So, about 5 minutes ago, it was a sunny, nice day. It's just, I hear the thunder, it got dark, clouds are rolling in, we're in for some bad storms. So we're going to try to get these windows in. I'm going to back it in the driveway. I'm going to try to pop these windows in, see how hot it is. Get the blue milk crate over there.
No. Phil. You're such a good listener. back.
Got another. Oh, no, it's the same.
No, that's the back. No, that's the side. Can I do the other one?
Well, come over here. We'll figure out how to do it.
Why is something so up, like far up there? Yeah, no, I'll just do more front one. It's not a big deal. Either way, none of the cars have air conditioning, so it really doesn't matter which one.
condition?
None of them have air
Oh,
conditioning.
this car's there.
No, the line is broken.
You got it fixed.
No, we didn't.
I didn't know his dad had a twin brother.
Pat, that's my brother.
That's supposed to have Roger.
How'd you know that?
The guy I was with was telling me about.
Oh, yeah.
Is it him and his dad? Like the guy and his dad were opposites.
Yeah. Apparently Roger was a really cool guy. They all have heart issues. Like really bad hearts. Now stretch.
It has to come down to here.
Yeah. The other side's gonna be twice as hard.
Why?
Because we're gonna pull all the slack to this side.
Get a hair dryer. Oh, this has to fold under that.
Yeah, it goes underneath the flat.
I'm getting my bike tomorrow.
Then we gotta stretch these out anyway.
I'm getting my bike tomorrow, Dad.
Where is it?
At Williams.
Well, Steven, because I might be taking Emily and her friends, so I think either way I'm taking the truck.
No, well, Lisa was gonna bring it.
No, Lisa's bringing them anyway.
What?
Amy's not
Always
gonna walk
simple.
across the street.
I think Lisa was gonna bring them.
There is no difference. It's on that side.
Cause my friends want to take the sheet.
Dad, it's not on this thing.
My friends want to take the sheet.
That's where the other one was too.
No. The other one was on the top. My friends want to take the sheet.
Okay, that's fine.
Goodness,
I
that's
figured
the pun.
Tell them food.
Food.
There's antifreeze in that stuff. I don't know if
Food. I know. Emily heard us talking about it. She automatically did it.
No, Emily's mad that she wanted to drive everyone. Cool big sister driving all the friends. But Lisa wouldn't even let Amy walk to the counter. Little whatever the people out there don't.
Oh, it's good. William's mom said no because William is very, he acts really stupid at things. Yeah, I don't want to
You guys are in 8th grade then.
he is acts so stupid.
No, a lot of people don't know how to act in detail. It's wild people. For you guys to go by yourself. I'm staying.
I know, yeah.
How'd that get so wet already?
All right.
Oh, I guess we're under the tree. Got bit by something. It's really. Oh, we gotta put these in the basement. No, it's Chick-fil-A. Can you bring that up there? Well, it has these latches.
We'll never need to slide them.
Let's do this.
Mom, come in the house.
How do these go?
We go in the back.
It's going water right now.
What do you mean? No, I think they go like this. They go in like this, up and over.
Oh, in this front thing?
And then up and out the back.
No.
No? Yeah, I think so.
I gotta go. This.
What is it?
Right?
And then what? No, because that goes backwards.
Yeah. Watch. Thank you.
Need help?
We don't know.
This is gonna pass us.
Well, you know what? I'm not really willing to take that chance.
No, I'm just saying because it's, you know.
How come this doesn't... These still Velcro in that. This isn't Velcro. Where?
Why is there so much
A little
center
bit.
here?
I rushed him. He was like getting weirdly mad at spots.
Not too tight yet.
It's not letting me. Like, I need to open this part.
Oh, Benny, I think he said he didn't all of them. Oh.
Okay, what's not working? Stay over here.
The wind died down.
It's over on the side.
All right, we got the sides in really tight. Like I said, it's been 10 days to a week. Back window, we are not even going to try to bring this zipper all the way to here. It's like a good 2.5 inches that it still needs to stretch out. This needs to come around. So maybe leaving this on like this for a little while will stretch that out a little. I don't know. It's very, very tight. Really smooth. Nice and smooth. No real big major wrinkles. I like it. It looks good, but this is really tight. So let's see how it loosens up, and we'll get back to you. All right, so we're back out here with the TJ trying to get this top on. Just to recap, because I don't know where I am in the editing process. It's been, I believe I bought the top around the middle to the end of May. It's now the end of July, and I did get it all on one time about 2 weeks ago. And I was playing with it and playing with it. I tried over and over again. I couldn't get it on. It was just way too tight. What I figured out was that the reason why it is so tight is because of this bulge right here in the roof. And that bulge is from the factory soundbar. And what I think is going on is the factory soundbar bulges it up just enough to make it really, really tight. And if that soundbar wasn't there, I think it would have went in a lot earlier. So just to recap, what I did was got this top on. We couldn't get it on all the way. We couldn't get those foam pads in on both sides. We put it on, drove it for a week or two, or however long it was. I'm sure I said it earlier in the video. It's been so long I'm forgetting now. And then we got the other piece of foam in. We got this on, left it on like that, and drove it around for 6 weeks or so, just like that. And when we had bad weather, we just pulled it in the driveway under the pop-up tent, and we were good. So what I did to get these side pieces in was I tried to put them in by connecting them, you know, in the rails, and then trying to zip them. And there was no way they would zip them without damaging those zippers. It was just way too tight. So we were going away for a long weekend, and the weather forecast was hot and sunny. So what I did was I zipped them in and left them hanging in the front and on the bottoms, and left it like that in the sun for 3 days. And when I got home from that long weekend, it had just, you know, laid out. The wrinkles came out of it, and it kind of laid out enough where I could get it in, and I got it in pretty much all the way around. The only spot that I couldn't get in was in the back here, right next to the tailgate bar, like on the past that curve in the back. It just wasn't long enough to get in. So now it's another couple weeks later. When I did have all the windows in, I did drive around with no doors, with just the back sections in, and just to let it balloon a little bit, like sort of like parachute, which you're not supposed to, but I wasn't on the highway or anything, and drove around for a few weeks just to give it a little bit of that flutter to hopefully stretch out that material. So now, I'm going to show you how I did get the windows in. Now, when the windows were in, man, the thing was nice. There wasn't a wrinkle. It laid nice, didn't leak at all. Doesn't leak in the header, in the windshield. Doesn't leak in the back, and it's a real nice tight fit. It's just really, really, really tight. So now let me get the windows, and we'll try to get those windows in. First thing you got to do before you put those windows in is take these back straps off and flop the cover forward, and I'm going to do that now. Alright, so we got the cover flopped all the way forward so we could see the storage bag here and the bottom part of the soft top here. And what we're going to do now is attach the windows in on the zippers and not really care about where it lines up here, and I'll show you the reason why. Alright, so with this side window, you just hold it up. Find your spot to attach the zipper. It's easy to do it from inside. And then zip it up like this, letting it hang over, and you can see I'll adjust the camera just a little bit. You can see how it just hangs and it's just right above the rail on the tub. And you can do the same thing on the other side. You just want to get those zippers in and all the way without any pressure on them. Same exact thing on the other side. And now we'll get the back window, and we put the back window in, I'll move the camera. Okay, now you can see with everything hanging, the tailgate bar doesn't even come close to being on the tailgate. So what you need to do at this point is kind of pull it down on both sides on the roll bar. Alright, so you can bring the tailgate bar closer. Alright, so you just go around the vehicle, pulling down, trying to slip this whole thing over the roll bar evenly, keeping the back window center. I can lift more of the top over. And I can start to pop this into the groove in the rail. Right, just make sure you're in good like that. Don't worry about these wrinkles. When we start pulling it down on the back, those wrinkles will work away. And you start on your bottom rail. Move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. And you just pull down down and tuck it under. Alright, the plastic is split here, and once you get to here, you want to kind of grab it in the back and work your way forward. You need to give yourself some more slack by moving everything over a little. You do that. Work it that way. Got a little wrinkle right there. Give it a pull to get it out. You just smooth out any wrinkles, and this is attached all the way around. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, pulling the whole top over. This side, camera again. Same thing, a little tougher because now we kind of got to shift it over because we were tightening over there. So you got to give it a nice pull, get it over the roll bar. Again, the more you can keep this Velcro disconnected, the better. At this point. Yes. Alright, so you get this whole side in. Make sure it's tucked up nice.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing, Doc? Nope, stay. See what I mean? Tight. Alright, now right here in the corner, when we got this on the first time, about 2 weeks ago, I couldn't get this to go up under. It was just way too tight, and it still is. So what'll happen is this is going to sit like this. It does sit flat. I just can't get this little 1-inch piece to tuck under. It's just way too tight. So you're going to wind up putting your strap back down right through here, and it does stay down nice. You'll see when I'm done. Alright, to finish up, open the tailgate. Then you're going to disconnect the Velcro on both sides. Right? Bring your tailgate bar on the outside of the brackets. Tailgate bar right on one side. And get it on the other side. Alright, if the top isn't centered, you can move it over just a smidge by sliding it through the bar. Like that. And then close your tailgate good. To make sure it's on there. The next step is just to get a little bucket to stand on. So standing on a bucket, you're going to grab your straps up here and you're going to tighten them up. Right through the middle one. And do the two sides. All I got to do is crank down a little better on those side pieces, and those wrinkles come out. You can come back down, and you can put your lower back glass bottom clips under the rails. Right on one side. What I found was the easiest is to get it under the rail, make sure your zip is all the way down, and then flap this over back onto the Velcro, because now it's going to stay on the Velcro. All right, all the way down nice. And that stays nice right here in the back. Same thing on the other side. Up and over. Alright, notice in the back, on top of the rear window is Velcro. So you want to pull your top down. Velcro. Don't need to go all the way into the corners just yet. Leave the corners a little loose. So what you'll do when you come over here is you'll take this, pop it into the slit in the cover so it goes underneath the rail on the tub. And you're going to give it a little pull. Connect it down, and then you can push the Velcro down on this side. Over here, the same thing. And then the last step is on each side window, the upper Velcro. All right, give it a pull. So you're making nice contact. You really shouldn't see black Velcro. Get it on nice like that. But right here is where you can see that bulge. And I think this is what's giving me the biggest problem, is the bulge from the factory soundbar. Alright, and there you have it. And like I said, the only issue that I had, or I'm still having, is right here, where I can't get this piece to tuck under. So I just tuck it on the outside and make sure you attach the Velcro nice. And it's staying in. I'm not getting any leaks because of the way it lays over it. That's the only spot I can't get. Hopefully with time it'll loosen up. It's been a long process to get this on. I probably let it go a little longer than it had to, just because I didn't have time. But like I said, we started in mid to late May. It's now late July. Put the top on and let that go on for a couple weeks. And that's my recommendation if you're doing this. If you don't have the sound bar, you should have a little bit easier of a time. But everybody says let it lay in the sun. You gotta let it lay in the sun. You need a good hot day. Let it lay in that sun and bake and stretch as much as possible. Then put the top piece on and drive around like a bikini top for a while, as long as you can. And then try to get those side pieces, let them sit in the sun all day too the first time you're going to put them on. And then when you get them on, leave them on for a while, and just to let it stretch into shape and drive around as much as possible. This is going to stay on only for a couple days. I'm taking a trip. So the Jeep's going on a trailer, so we can do a little four-wheel drive beach ride in the Outer Banks. And as soon as we get down there, the whole top's coming off for the week, and then it's got to go back on again to go on the trailer and come back home. But I like the top. All in all, I really like it. It is a little bit of a burden to put all those windows in and get them back on. It probably will get easier as time goes, but those are my biggest suggestions. All let it lay in the sun and really stretch, and do it piece by piece, and have some patience, and try not to pull on those zippers and rip those zippers apart. When it's all in there, it's tight, it fits nice, it doesn't flop around when you're driving. It's really a nice snug fit top. I really do think the soundbar is what my downfall was. It's just that soundbar bulges up top a little bit, and maybe that ½ inch is all you really need. ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch that it's bulging is all you really need to get this and make it a lot easier to put those side and back windows in. I don't know. I don't know how this video is even going to come out. It's been so long, and we've been, clipping it and clipping it and clipping it and clipping it. I haven't looked at any of the raw footage yet, but we are finally done with the install of the top. I like the top for the price. Especially if you have a Jeep where you didn't have any bows or any hardware, for the price, it's definitely an inexpensive way to go for a soft top, so you don't have to keep on putting that hard top back on and off all summer like we did last summer. So I do like this. I do like just the bikini top. That's the way I had it most of the summer. We kept the pop-up tent in the driveway, and I drive it with the bikini top. I even drove it a couple times. Yeah, the interior gets a little wet, but heck, it's cheap. That's what it's for. All right. So if you're thinking about the Rampage trail top and the Rampage tailgate bar, I'm giving it sort of a thumbs up. I'll go this way. Right now. I think I'm really going to like it. I have liked it. I shouldn't say that. I have liked it. I think it looks good. I think it fits, real tight and real good. It doesn't seem like anything's going to break. It doesn't have that much pressure on it when you put it on this way. So, yeah, I'm going to go. I'll go more towards this part of the thumbs up. But anyway, watch the video. Hopefully when I edit it all, it comes out good. And see what you think. If you want to give it a try, it's not a bad gamble for under $300. So, is what it is. I like it though, and I would do it again if I had to do it again. I was looking for a cheap replacement and I didn't have the bows. And that's it. So, that's all we got from Axel's Garage today. If you enjoyed the video, that took me months to make. The bullshit put a soft top on video. Give me that thumbs up button. It's right down there. And if you like what we're doing here at Axel's Garage, as always, subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.